Hey, how's it going? Good morning. Welcome back to Ohrmundt Simmentals. This is Chris. All right, it is Saturday morning, and I'm gonna start getting ready to pick up some bales. Dad should be here in a little bit, and then we'll head up on the hill up there and start chipping away at that. Yeah. I had to get Bethany going. She's got a little indoor project that she's working on. Good. Fencer's snapping nice. All right. Cows are still pretty happy. They are actually just up here chilling. They actually do like coming up and chilling up in this dirt. I'm guessing because it's nice and cool. Hay yard is looking a little more full. So what do we got here? We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 rows, and this is basically what it looks like. Like I said, we don't like, that's one of the first crops, that one right on the end. We typically like to leave this little section here, like one extra swat open, in case you ever have to drive by, or just give ourselves a little extra room. And I'm not sure, I'm thinking Dad's like 35 deep. So 34. We got 2 more bales I can go here. 34 deep. Yeah, at 10 rows, 34 deep. I'm not going to include the 2 because we'll definitely fill that up. So we have 340 bales sitting here, which is pretty awesome. We have, man, what are we, like we're over 550, I think. So we still have 220 bales sitting out there, which comes out to 10 loads. So yeah, we got a little bit of work for us. But days like today and tomorrow, we'll make some nice pushes. And, you know, if we can get 4 loads done today and maybe 4 loads done tomorrow, but we do need to grind feed. Those guys have been out without feed for like a week and a half or so. The corn, they've been without corn. They get their hay, but they've been going through the hay a lot faster, and they need their ground feed. They want it. They let us know. They remind us, like, hey, where's our ground feed? Where is it? We want it. So, all right, I'm going to pull this out, get the loader tractor out, and when Dad gets here, we'll take off. All right, we are back with our first load. Dad's going to unload that. I'm going to check the water, double check it's running at full go. And then I think I'm going to tear my water pump apart again quick. I got the tools here to do it, so I'll let you watch Dad do a little bit of his handiwork. All right, we are back with load 2. Dad's gonna unload this, and then we'll take a quick lunch break. I'm going to go look at our flasher. So it's just does this, and then Dad had welded on both wagons. He welded a little pad so that we can slap it on there. They work really decent, but for whatever reason, and I think they're like 5 years old or whatever. They were $20 when we bought them at Fleet. I think they're either getting old, or where you put the batteries in, the little paddle, not the spring, but the little paddle on the other end, I think might be getting mashed or something. We're losing a little bit of connection. Load number 3 in the books. Dad's gonna unload that. I got some big thistles that are right on the edge of my fence. and they have been an eyesore for a while. So I'm gonna go hack those guys down. Literally gonna take a shovel because they were big. So yeah, this is really nice to get one of these days where we can really pound out getting the bales home. You know, it's not like, because there's usually always something to do, it's not like I can always jump on a tractor and a wagon and start hauling bales home while he's baling. Usually there's other stuff for me to do. So that's why we usually just get through a big stretch of baling and then go out and pick them up. There's like 20 geese hanging out in this field, and they have been for a couple of days, which is fine. Yeah, they're crapping on it, so I'll take it. But I can definitely see that's the old sorghum field where that weed is, and I definitely see the new growth of that weed coming in. So hopefully I can get my sprayer going soon so I can give that a nice shot of 2,4-D just in the trouble spot. That's all I want. I just want to hit I just want to hit the really bad area and let the grass come in. So hopefully really quick, soon, very soon. Bales off the hill are all picked up. I am actually making a little progress on my sprayer. I took the pump back apart where the diaphragm is. So I had the pump off, and then you take off this little switch, you take this off, the housing, and then there's a little diaphragm on there with like little circles. There's 4 of them in a square pattern. Like there's one here, 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 and here. And then as the shaft spins, those 4 paddles kind of like do this. They kind of rock around, and you know, kind of like similar to an idea of like, you know, instead of pistons going up and down, they're going like side to side, and as those go around in the pattern, then it creates a pump or a suction and draws it in. So I kind of took it apart. I threw some of that extreme green stuff, like degreaser automotive stuff, just to kind of clean it, maybe condition it a little bit, and then put it back together. And what I did was, just having it sitting on the step of my four-wheeler, I just basically hooked the hose up to it almost and turned the pump on, and then it took. So what I did was hook this all back up. Here's the supply from the tank, and literally just had the pump sitting here, and then turn the pump on so it pulled water, and the gravity from the tank would help it get into the pump, and it works. I actually have pressure now, relearning how to use this stupid thing. I literally used it like 2 or 3 times, but yeah, it seems okay. There was this part in the wand, I did the same thing, put some of that extreme green in here because I'm guessing there's an O-ring in there that is close to being shot, or just needed some conditioning too. Just needed some moisture so it would shut off and take the pressure, or it didn't have enough pressure to make it actuate. One or the other, it doesn't matter. But I'm gonna throw the boom on. I have a 10-foot fold-up boom that goes on there. I think I got my bolts. I think I'm gonna bolt it up and just throw some water through it, see what happens. And by gosh, it actually works. All right, so the only thing I will have to figure out is power. Because right now it gives you alligator clips to go to a battery, but I'm not doing that because I need to sit there. I do have this for my battery tender, and I did try that out earlier, but it didn't seem to work quite like how I wanted it to, because I actually went alligator clips to this. That didn't work out so good, so I got to figure that out. But it does have a switch, and honestly I might just grab another battery and, I don't know, like put it in here, over there or something. But you just hit this switch and it's already set. And I think, do I need to turn that on? No, because that's just going to circulate. That's fine. So if I don't hit the nozzle or hit the handle for the spray nozzle for the wand, it's not going to come out. So this is just circulation, so I can just probably just so I can prime the pump, honestly, or to like help mix whatever I have in there. And then this guy is the boom. There's a little shut-off valve here. It's just garden hose type stuff. So that's already on. Circulation is turned off. I'm not using the wand, so there we go. And I did check. They are all working. Yeah. Cool. All right, that's enough for one day. We're gonna pick up some more bales tomorrow and most likely grind corn. We got done with the hill, that's a huge step for us. Next is just that last stuff where we got the net wrap bales and things like that. We're actually gonna do 2 rows of the net wrap bales, just so that they're kind of segregated. And because what I want, or the reason I wanted 2 full rows, or at least the starts, I think we're gonna end up a little short. But I wanted to see what the rows look like way to the far east where it gets wet. I want to see what those bales look like come April or May. You know, how much damage is on the bottom. Like, those end up being our worst bales ever, so I don't mind getting them out of that wet spot. You know, it's kind of like we were picking bales over the winter from the east end, try and grab a couple of them because we know they're just going to be trash come springtime. I want to see what the net wraps look like. So it's kind of a little bit of an experiment. And we also know it's decent hay too. But all right, we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Hey, good morning. It is Sunday morning and we are just getting going. And we are not sure what we're going to do. We got another little over 1/4 inch rain last night. But we got bales to pick up. So Dad and I actually went on a little road trip this morning because we wanted to let the rain we got from early this morning a little chance to kind of dry off. There is a nice breeze out here, and we didn't really want to grind corn because, well, the corn's wet. I mean, at least let that dry off. So it's kind of like pick your poison on which one you're going to do once things dry out a little bit. So we kind of found a couple dealers that are within a half hour or whatever, and looked at some balers, because that'll be on the list sooner than later once we figure out how. So we are going to pick up bales, and now we're heading over to our last chunk just east of us, right over there. We had picked up a couple loads off of there while we were waiting for them to come and bale them after the baler broke. So we got like 1 load of our bales, and then the rest of them should be, or almost the rest of them should be net wrapped. So yeah, we'll at least we'll get like 2 loads this afternoon, and that'll at least get us moving in the right direction. So I may have mentioned that this field is notoriously wet. Actually, right there is actually a really wet area, and I actually just had to turn this way sharp. Because when you notice that, I know the grass is a little wet, but when you notice that water is rolling on the tires, then you gotta move it. So we are definitely being strategic about where we're driving. So it looks like there's actually a load and a half of our bales that we baled, and then the rest are net wrap. Well, these are definitely going to be our last. This is definitely going to be our last load. Dad had to pull this one, and I had to pull this one because we've got a couple of ruts on a spin out. You know, I mentioned we're trying to be strategic as we go, but I don't know if, you know, because sometimes like when you'll drive on ground that's a little bit wetter, sometimes it like mushes and stuff and brings that moisture to the top or what, but I don't know. We were trying to drive for what we thought looked like drier ground. No. Yeah, that sucked. So that's gonna be our last load. We are supposed to get some more rain tomorrow, but the end of this coming week is supposed to be cool and dry. So, you know, and we probably can get more loads. We just have to either take both wagons and just maybe not do the rows on the top, or what. But that's probably the simplest thing, is just not put the rows up on top. Dad's only got a couple more bales left to pick up, at least off the wagons, I guess. This will leave some space, kind of little pocket right here, because we do want to keep 2 lines of those net wrap bales separate. But what I mentioned to Dad earlier was that little hole could be a really good spot for our oats bales, because we'll kind of, we like using them, we like feeding them, or if they end up being for straw purposes, we obviously don't know yet, but we'll go through them before we would need the hay that would be behind it. Dad's grabbing his last bale. Instead of moving the cows, because I moved them Friday? I think so. We're gonna feed them a bale, and then I'll move them tomorrow. So we're gonna feed them a bale tonight. They've actually been pretty decent, so they're not super hungry. You kind of got to play the game. Are they greedy or hungry? You know, but if they were hungry, they'd be up here screaming in our face, which they're not. They've been pretty content, pretty happy. So we'll give them a bale tonight, and then I can move them tomorrow night, and then they'll be on the yellow water. The chunk tomorrow is going to be pretty big. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty big chunk. Basically what's left of that east field, I'm just going to divide it in 2 and probably go about 3 days on each one and feed a bale in there. 3 or 4 days maybe on each one. Feed a couple bales in there and call her good, and then keep them on moving. It's really just to keep stretching them out, because if we don't try and stretch them out a little bit, there ain't going to be nothing for them once they come back. So like the field just north, the field just south of our hay yard, what I consider the last chunk, I mean, you can tell that it's actually coming back okay, but it needs a couple of weeks. If they come back in less than 2 weeks, there ain't gonna be hardly anything there for them. So you just kind of, you give them a little bit of hay here and there just to keep stretching it out, so without overgrazing the pasture at the same time. All right, so everything we kind of wanted to get done today, we kind of got it done today. We didn't do corn, but like I said, the corn, after just getting rain the day before and yesterday, and this morning, probably not the greatest idea. We'll hit corn early this week and get that ground up. So just fluffed up the hay a little bit for the steers. They still got enough, so they'll probably need a new bale tomorrow. And I also just kit them with a little bit of fly spray just to help with them. They actually haven't been too bad with flies, but they also able to go in the barn. Our little cripple steer, who's actually doing decent. He's just not putting any weight on. He's still hanging around until we get a little bit of a break. So soon he'll probably go. if he started putting weight on, we'd probably hang on to him for a little while. But yeah, we were at least able to get some bales. Fed the cows, gave them their bale. They didn't even come up to get it. It's not super hot out. It is really humid though. It's in the low 80s, but at least the sun's not out, so it's not totally horrible. But they didn't walk up yet to get it, so they're not, you know, they're not super hungry. But yeah, it's Sunday evening. We're gonna call this the day, call this the end of the video. Hope you guys liked the video. As always, if you have any questions at all, please leave them in the comments. Love answering those questions. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button that supports the channel. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. As always, thanks for coming along.